Thank you for joining us over the last year for a series, Feeding the Future, bite-sized insights into Gleaners past, Gleaners during the pandemic, and where Gleaners pivots in the future. Gleaners started in a small 3-car garage with a group of social worker volunteers that knew we needed to do something to feed our neighbors. We outgrew a building on 16th Street that we all thought would take care of our hungry neighbors for years and years to come. In 2010, we moved to this phenomenal location, all knowing that we had plenty of space. We'd never fill the freezer. We'd never fill the cooler. Plenty of room for warehouse racks. But along the way, the number of food insecure neighbors continued to grow, and the Hoosier State faced over 1 million food insecure neighbors before this pandemic came along. But we had made progress. We had prepared. After the 2008 economic downturn, we had almost depleted our reserves, and this organization was struggling to recover. As the pandemic came, we lost volunteer work temporarily that was 40% of our workforce. Our largest single source of food that had been 2/3 of all food for decades, retail surplus, went to zero. The food supply chain was more disrupted than in 75 years, back to World War II. But it also affirmed some of the strategic direction that we wanted to move into. We wanted to not just feed the line the way we always had. We had to hit better measures in terms of perishable, nutritious food. A goal of 80% nutrition for the food that we distributed to our hungry neighbors. But it's not just about quality. It's about quantity too. We needed to close the meal gap. That meant going to 2.5 to 3 times the volume we had done in 2019. The pandemic allowed us to prove that we could do that early, even with a disrupted food supply chain, even with disrupted workforce, and a building that was bursting at the seams. We have added to our facility and temperature-controlled space, and we need to do more. We've added to our fleet. We've modernized our equipment. We brought the cost per meal down. In 2016, it was 41 cents. In 2021, it was 13 cents to provide a better quality meal. We've done that with so many organizations. Along the way in the pandemic, we added dozens of new partners who didn't have a history of being involved in hunger relief, and now they see it as critical to their mission. Everything we do in the future is about being nimble and flexible and entrepreneurial. We are determined with an AgriHub expansion of this campus to be an entrepreneurial leader, to prove that there are new ways that we can source food, pack food, grow food even in greenhouses, in hydroponics, to repack food, to add greater value to the National Feeding America Network, to our food banks in the region, but most importantly, to other hunger relief organizations and social service providers and healthcare providers and those that are helping with the interconnected challenges of poverty in our 21 Indiana counties. And certainly it's fortunate that we sit here in Marion County in many ways, because the pandemic took Marion County as the share of our total food distribution from decades at 1/3 of all distribution to over 60% at the start of the pandemic, and the recovery is extended for Marion County. So good to have our roots here, but also, more importantly, good to have so many collaborative partners. I hope you've enjoyed over the course of this series hearing from a medical doctor, the head of a leading medical school, Fairbanks School, Dr. Halverson. But also, I hope you're impressed as I am with the quality of talent that we have here at Gleaners. Jeff leading that regional Fresh Connect Central Co-op. Sarah Wilson, one of our young employees with so much talent and educating generations of the future doctors, future dietitians, and others. But also Christina Basie, who goes out and somehow finds volunteers that have a critical share of the workload and future success to get the work done. I hope that also instilled confidence that we can do this, that we can close the meal gap, we can keep it closed, we can feed everyone that relies on us a healthy, nutritious mix. If we're really going to solve the problem of food insecurity in our community, we have to shrink the number of people in that situation by working in creative entrepreneurial partnerships with other organizations that intersect. First and foremost, at the convergence of hunger and health, but also workforce, education, transportation, physical health, mental health, and many other solutions. We believe Gleaners is a great investment. The return on that investment is measured in the impact on our neighbors that we're privileged to serve. Thank you for being along in the journey, and thank you for joining us in new and additional ways, helping achieve success together. Success measured by how we impact our hungry neighbors. Thank you.